Hey, Annissa Coy here from Firehouse Education and this week's Ask Annissa video column. And this week, our question comes in from Jared. And it is super, super good. I'm really happy that you emailed me this, Jared, so that I could share it with you and others, because I think you're going to all find it super valuable. So here's what Jared said. Hey, Annissa, I've been watching your videos for some time now and really, really love them. Thanks to you and your videos, I'm a much better restoration cleaner and client care specialist. My question for you is, I have a valuable piece of art that has some soot damage and needs to be cleaned. The homeowner says it is worth $5,000. Yikes. I am extremely nervous about exactly how to handle this and was wondering if you could give me any pointers or tips. Thank you so much for all you do, Annissa, for us cleaners who need your advice. Thanks, Jared. Okay, well, first thing, the value of this item definitely needs to be determined. So you need to ask on something that high of value, is there a rider on the insurance policy for this item? Is there an appraisal available for this item? Now, if there's a rider, there is usually most definitely an appraisal that is already been done on the item and available. If it doesn't have a rider, then you need to know if there's an appraisal so that we can definitely determine that we know what the value is. And guys, I'm not implying that your homeowner's lying to you. They could have been told that an item is valued at $5,000 when actually it's not. I had a very, very similar thing happen to me when I was in the Midwest cleaning last summer. Someone thought that a piece of artwork was, I want to say $4,000 to $5,000 in value, and it was actually about $1,260 in value once I looked it up and found exactly the number and by the artist. Okay, so if there is a writer, I want to point out on this item, then remember, if you've watched some of my past videos, you'll know this. A rider is like a whole separate policy. So that item needs to be handled very differently and would be billed individually from the rest of the contents that you're cleaning. Okay, and you're going to want to talk to your adjuster about that. All right, so let's back up. So I'm going to give you some pointers and tips in ways that I will handle artwork. Okay. And then I'm going to give you some advice about maybe not doing it. Okay. So there's 3 or 4 different methods of cleaning that I'll use. One, obviously HEPA vacuuming is huge. Definitely I would HEPA vac the item to get anything loose off right away, very gently. The other thing is you can use a chem sponge or a dry cleaning sponge. Again, make sure that you go back and watch some of my other technical videos showing you how to do chem sponging, because you don't want to scrub or rub, it's a side-to-side swipe. The other thing is there's an item called an art gum eraser that artists actually use and art restoration people use to clean up pictures. Now, please be very careful because it in its name says eraser. Okay, so you can cause damage with that. So if you don't know how to use an art gum eraser, don't do that. The other thing is that there's a product called absorbine, and it's like a dust. They actually have a couple different types. There's a dust, and you would sprinkle it over the item. It has a dwell time, and then it would soak up, impurities, and then you would vacuum it off. The other thing is that they have like an absorbing that's sort of like it's like a putty, if you will, and you kind of lay it out over the area, kind of pat it down, and then you would pull it back up, and it would pull up, contaminants with it. Now, again, this is I'm going to be very careful here in knowing what you're dealing with, because you can really damage an item. So that's my other piece of advice is, if this is something that's really out of your wheelhouse and you are not comfortable, I mean, your wording was you were extremely nervous. So probably the best advice I could give you is go in and find a good art restoration place, okay, in your local area. Go and take this item into them. Number one, they would be able to help you find the value of it, which you really need to know before you do anything. And then you can have them look at it and give you, advice on how they would work on this item. And what's probably going to happen, which has happened to me in the past, is very quickly you're going to determine by what they say as to whether or not you even want to tackle this. So it might be a case where you hire them as your specialty subcontractor and you have them clean the item for you, then you can bill it, add your 10 and 10 and make money on it, but you're not actually going to be the one physically doing the restorative cleaning on it. Okay. Sometimes it is so important to know whether or not you should be the one to clean it and handle it, or whether you should hire someone else to clean it and handle it. All right. And this is a really good opportunity to talk to you as well, Jared, about training. So there are specialty classes out there that have to do with art restoration. Go take some of them. I took one actually in a small town, believe it or not, but this guy taught me so much about art and canvases and whether they have coatings on them, and why they don't cover really expensive nice paintings with glass, and because they need to breathe and things like that. So it was really cool, and he taught me about the differences between oil versus water. Like you'd think that's pretty obvious, but it's not. So anyway, going in and paying to learn from an expert like that is very valuable. They have specialty classes, for instance, on leather and china restoration, and just all kinds of amazing classes out there. And you may want to consider taking one of them. One of the big things that people talk about all the time when they take my hands-on class is that it's so powerful to, clean wood with woodcraft right there with me side by side, or to do artwork with chem sponges and art erasers, like to be side by side with someone and be able to learn what to do, and sometimes more importantly, what not to do is really invaluable. So reach out to me, Jared, if you're interested. I am doing a hands-on class the end of March, again in Temecula, California, and I've got some spots available. So reach out to me and let me know, Annissa at firehouseeducation.com. All right, Jared. Well, I hope that answered your question. And I really, really want to commend you for reaching out and knowing when maybe something is just a little bit past your realm of being able to handle it, and reaching out to someone to ask for that advice and help, and not just jumping in and winding up causing damage. Okay, well, thank you all so much for watching the video this week. Please be sure and email me, Annissa at firehouseeducation.com. And I want you to be sure that if you are watching this video on my YouTube channel, that you are subscribed. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I want you to go over to rnrmagonline.com, and I want you to subscribe to their e-newsletter and their magazine. It's full of wonderful information about the cleaning and restoration industry, and just might help you on your next job. All right. Well, on that note, send me them questions, and guess what? I might just feature you on next week's Ask Annissa video column. Thank you.